Hello and welcome back to Insti, and I'm continuing playing Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Last episode, we participated in a wild party, and, well, there was obviously death. And now we have a few people in the custody of police, and we've been interrogating them a little bit. Now we need to make a mind palace conniptions and see what we can find out. Plot on Pinchetti Sue, Matista activity at the party, could Manchios had bad feelings for Fabio. Manchios set himself up for debauchery. Court Manchios carefully prepared himself for depravity. Maybe. Oh. Kurt Manchios gave Fabio expensive gifts. Feelings for Fabio? Okay. Can I Okay, I'll set those later. Angry letter for Fabio. From Fabio. Nope. Matista trusted in the occult over Fabio. That is true. Matista may have used ritual on Fabio. Maybe not. Again. Pinchetti's Major Domo. Santos Pinchetti efforts in vain. Pinchetti has been forced to work for Kurt Manchios in desperate hope of obtaining heritage, but it hasn't paid off, and it will not pay off, probably. Fresh bruises. Activity at the party. Matista suffered bruises on her body from brutal interactions with the guests during the party. Seems like it. Vogel is held because of the letter, and okay. Pinchetti accidentally stepped in blood. Santos Pinchetti may have stepped in the blood while discovering the crime scene. Yes, he seemed a little bit surprised about the blood on his shoes. But the evidence suggests that the murderer knew that he was bloody. But to be honest, that could go with the Pinchetti also. Because maybe he thought he was clean already. But now I do remember one thing. Pinchetti was... what did he say? He said he was embarrassed when the guests came quite close to him because then they saw his suit was in bad shape. But the murderer wore a rope and chains to the rope. I'll keep the stepped in blood, yeah, for now. Okay. No. What do I need to... I don't think there's anything here. Yeah. Wrong button again. Matista has fresh bruises. Fabio bruised Matista. During their fight in the smoking lounge, Fabio bruised Matista. Matista was bruised by the... I guess... still guests. There really didn't seem like a fight. The letter may have been for Manchius. According to Santos Pinchetti and by the content of the letter, it may have been addressed to Court Manchius. That is true. That is true. Let's go and ask about people. Ask about the letter from people. Because the murderer wore a robe. And also chains to the rope. May I ask you about...
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of the incriminating letter may have been Kurt Manchios.
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember how I came to possess it. Though I did spend quite some time with Mr. Manchios during the party.
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may still not be enough to clear you with the police. But fear not, I will persevere.
I hope your attempt to put things straight will make up for...
You being on a bender?
Touché.
Okay, so let's ask other people. So what do you say? So because you are wearing the same outfit you probably wore at the party.
Please let me out.
Okay. You're not talking about it. What about her? And her is probably wearing same outfit as in the party because everybody was arrested exactly as they are now.
Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Manchios?
Oh. That could be. I never thought Mr. Manchios could make Fabio that angry, though.
What do you mean?
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from Mr. Manchios. Clients who are in love are both a blessing and a curse.
But Fabio was here tonight.
Money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt Manchios.
Was Fabio afraid of Mr. Manchios?
Not at all. The old toad wouldn't dare to do more than sweet talk and touching. Talk can be forgotten, and touching washed away.
Maybe. Let's see, is he willing to say anything about the letter?
There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient of this letter.
What are you talking about? Is it addressed to me?
Your protege wanted a fresh start, it seems. This is sufficient to charge you.
Me? Hurt my star? Are you insane that you would accuse me of such a thing?
He did not consider himself as yours. Since you deny everything, let's move on. Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's pocket?
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. Werner was a little high.
Honestly, the murderer is Kurt. First things first, he has soap under his fingernails, meant that he's washed his hand quite recently. We know the murderer washed himself after killing the Fabio. He was wearing robes which were bloodied by Fabio's blood. He changed them to clean robes. And again, we have to understand the arresting happened while everybody was wearing what they were wearing. Only person who wasn't arrested at the time was the Major Domo. But he himself said he was wearing those clothes. He was embarrassed that if the guests would see him closely, they would notice that he was wearing worn clothes. How this guy here uses Major Domo. I don't think he has many clothes to switch. And I'm guessing Matista there is also wearing the same clothes as she was wearing when she was at the party. The only only people who are wearing robes are Kurt here and Vogel there. Vogel is not the killer. So it kind of narrows it down. So what do we have here? Vogel thinks it's possible it was addressed to Manchius. He is unable to explain how it came to be inside his pocket, but disagrees that it may have been addressed to Manchius. Fabio wanted to break off all connections with Mr. Manchius, but was unable to for financial reason. Manchius denies any connection with the letter and claims the Vogel took it from Fabio. And how the letter ended up with the Vogel, he was wasted. He was out of his brains. It is possible that Vogel put that letter in the pocket of... Manchius put the letter in the pocket of Vogel. I'm certain that basically what happened is that Vogel... well, Manchius, who is very vain... Manchius very vain, because he's afraid of the aging, and he said that yeah, he has to make up because the younger guys are so afraid of the older guys. He was very much, well, love is probably a little bit wrong word in contrast of the Kurt's personality, but let's say he was very possessive towards the Fabio and hoped that Fabio would reciprocate their feelings towards the Kurt. And by the letter, he definitely turned Kurt down, even after getting very expensive gifts. And maybe it was one too many no's in the cigar lounge, and that enraged Kurt that somebody would say no to him and hit him in the head and kill him. So Vogel took the letter under influence. When Vogel took the letter himself was under the effect of various substances. Manchius planted the letter. Yet Manchius cleared himself blood after the Fabius murder. And the ritual was covered. For years, Fabio played with Kurt Manchius' heart and abused his interest in the young performer. When Manchius received yet another rejection, he murdered Fabio, staged a love ritual to avoid suspicion. No, Fabio did not play. Kurt Manchius was heartbroken and panicked and did not mean to kill Fabio. The improvised ritual was a desperate attempt to cover up the crime. A prison sentence should be enough for his harsher punishment. For his harsher punishment is the death of his love. No, Fabio did not play with him. According to other people, it definitely Fabio didn't play with him, and he rejected Kurt many times, and even had to go so far to write a very angry letter that actually surprised Matista. So a sexual predator, Kurt Manchius killed Fabio in cold blood. He staged the crime as a ritual to blame Matista. He planted the letter in Vogel's pocket to avoid suspicion. Manchius has no consideration for the life of others and deserves to be hanged. Well, that is true, because he really is not that sorry about Fabio's death. He doesn't have any remorse. He's not worrying about Fabio's death. He's more worried about his own reputation and how he uses Pinchetti and even Matista. Definitely proves that. So he's a sexual predator. And I go with that. And no, I'm not gonna change that. So let's go and talk to the police. Oh,
I've nothing to say about this.
This letter proves nothing. Fabio wrote it to Mr. Manchios. It's time to free Mr. Vogel.
Do you really think I'm that naive?
oh,
I need proof, not words from his friend.
Very well. Mr. Pinchetti told me that Mr. Manchios was lavishing Fabio with expensive and eccentric gifts. The letter mentions rich rewards and attempts to buy Fabio with them. It was written to Mr. Manchios. Who else was showering Fabio with luxuries to buy him? It doesn't fit Mr. Vogel's character.
Look here. We had a deal. Give me the murderer and then take your friend with you. I won't budge otherwise.
Well, fine, but you're just wasting time.
oh, okay, okay. So let's go back to the Mind Palace. So no, I don't want to switch. Select. Wait, what? Okay. Nope. Wrong door. Oh, sorry. I need to accuse. Yes.
The murder of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios. It was staged by a man who wished to distract the investigation.
That might be true. That poor girl Matista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her. So, Santos.
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problems.
Ungrateful little scum. Will he be executed?
But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body, I believe.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr. Vogel. He had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you planned. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated, didn't you?
You can't be serious.
Your fingernails.
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic and filthy. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your fingernails. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchios.
Nonsense. I missed it simply because of the busy schedule of the party.
Of course, a staged murder was certainly not planned.
You staged the ritual.
You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the parties. It was your way of avoiding suspicion. A respectable man in his 60s,
Early 60s.
who hosts the cream of Cordona society, cannot possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behave like animals in his mansion, of course, one of them could have killed Fabio.
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did not stage Fabio's death.
You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner, you have no children. You had feelings, however, for one man. That was Fabio. You loved him. That is, you wished to own him with money and gifts. But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his back on you. Quite unjust. Love, so cruel and painful, and Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel the more wretched. So you killed him.
You must surely perceive that my sensitive nature wouldn't allow me to hurt anyone.
What sensitive? To To be honest, that could be a premeditated murder. I'm almost certain, because after he received the very harsh rejection letter, he probably designed that. And to avoid suspicion, he spread around those suspicions over. Yeah, I'll go with
The
that.
young performer played with your emotions. That was painful to realize. You spent so much time and effort to be with Fabio, but he didn't respond in the way you would have liked. You wanted to be loved, but Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked you. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You struck him, and then you staged the ritual. You planted the letter in Vogel's pocket and attempted to set up Matista.
What poppycock? Sherlock, stop this game now.
There is no stop word, Mr. Manchios. Relax and enjoy it. I'll pass the remainder of this case to Constable Oswald. He'll know what to do with you.
Let's see if I can talk to other people, but yes. He tried to say I'm a good guy, but how he's acting towards other people, no.
I can't believe you dared to accuse me.
Because I dare to accuse you.
I'd weep if I had any tears left at all.
Matista cared for Fabio.
I'll remember this horror forever.
You will, yes. And Pinchetti, although he probably didn't like Fabio, he probably would kill, more likely, that guy. And Vogel was not a guilty person, so... Do I have it? And yes. So that is how I decided, and to be honest, I'm feeling it's quite correct.
I have a name for you. Kurt Manchios.
Is that so? The master of the Sabbath?
The man himself. Mr. Manchios couldn't stand to lose control over his lover. A deadly revenge that deserves a proper sentence. I have all the evidence to charge him.
A degenerate and a murderer. I'll make a name thanks to that for sure. As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were transferred somewhere else, but I couldn't find a trace of them. Then I remembered. The discarded document drawers where we put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones. Including the crime scene report of Violet Holmes's case. Everything I've found is on the desk here. Take it.
Your persistence has saved me.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can leave.
Good luck, Constable.
Oh. Ooh. Okay. Can I go and talk to Vogel? Let's see. Or is he gone already? He's gone.
What a bunch of losers.
Yes. So let's see what he found out. Is it where? There? Yep. Yeah, sorry. Report number 0743. Officers arrived to find the deceased, identified as Mrs. Violet Holmes, lying in the garden of Stonewood Manor. Visual inspection showed the victim to be thoroughly soaked, with a deep vertical incision 2 inches in length down her throat. Her face was swollen and covered in red blotches, likely cause of death, hypoxia, awaiting confirmation from medical examiner. Main suspect, Otto Richter, was arrested on the scene. The body was sent for autopsy.
garden. There's a garden behind our manor. How could I forget? That's where it all happened, where it all went wrong.
Sherry, it looks like you've almost found what you wanted.
She drowned, my mother drowned. Her throat wound could either be final humiliation by her killer or desperate attempt to save her. The slit on my mother's throat was an attempted tracheotomy. It makes no sense to do this if she was drowning. Maybe. We brought tea. John and I brought my mother her morning tea on the day she died. Okay, we need to go back to our mansion.
Oh, you did it, Sherlock! The case is closed and all rewards belong to the winner. Bravo!
It is merely the triumph of the truth.
Is it? No compromises? No lies? You're happy with your decisions?
An acceptable outcome. I'm pretty confident with my choosing in this case.
It was the best decision I could obtain. The truth must be told in the way it is most acceptable.
You're making progress, Sherlock. I was right to believe in you. By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion in such a personal matter. I simply worry I'm failing to be of much help to you.
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to obtain the impossible.
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually rejects those who speak with too much honesty, doesn't it?
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth. Still, I believe that the latter should prevail, and I cannot remain silent.
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth cannot defeat institutions, systems, and power. Etiquette, religion, marriage, they're all lies told to preserve connections, love, and sanity, and it's all corruptible.
Lies destroy human dignity. How could you make a free decision without any knowledge of the truth?
Are we really free to decide anything in this world, Sherlock?
Maybe not.
I take your point. There are some limits on us all, some compromises we must make. Despite my best efforts, we cannot remain entirely objective.
I didn't want to sadden you, Sherlock, only to make you think beyond your boundaries. You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others, but constantly lie to yourself. How long until the train comes off the track? I cannot look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an accident waiting to happen, dear. Until then, I shall bid you adieu.
How far we are from... Honestly, I think I walk. I'm starting to think that the outcome of this is not what one could expect. And maybe not as happy. Or, well, happy is a bad word. Maybe more uncomfortable, the truth that we will find. I don't know. But no, we must. This has been an interesting ride, so this will be the end. I don't think there's anything else us to do anymore, because I'm almost fairly certain that I have done all the quests I can, or cases, smaller ones. Unless I missed something, but I guess not. There's nothing to buy anymore. Oh, can we buy... I was wrong. Can we buy papers? Where is... Because I totally forgot. I haven't bought papers for... Wait, is this something I could enter? Nope. Let's find a newspaper seller. It's right over there. I totally forgot. That was something I needed to do.
Extra, extra! Interested in some Cordona news? Check the...
Yes, I will. I will. Copello walks free. Basilia Copello was released today after a quick and decisive court hearing in the matter of Nicola Detti's murder. The victim was recently found dead, stuffed in a safe at the office of Armor Copello, which seemed problematic for the accused. And yet, supported by the family lawyer and with compelling alibi provided by his wife Augusta, the prosecution case against Mr. Copello quickly fell apart. The husband and wife were seen leaving the court hand in hand, clearly delighted at the result. Citizens of Cordona should also breathe a sigh of relief with the island spared potential retaliation from Dettis. Handsome homicide. Police stormed the Manchius mansion yesterday, uncovering a depraved soiree and the body of one of Cordona's most beloved beauties, Fabio. In a sickening twist, the young Adonis was found on a basement altar surrounded by an occult inscription drawn in his blood. Several attendees of the gala were arrested, and upon further investigation, police determined that the strange circumstances of the murder were the killer's attempt to hide the truth. A source with knowledge of the situation tells us that the owner of the house, Mr. Kurt Manchius, was responsible murdering Fabio after the young man rejected his obscene proposals. The sentence for such an offense is death by hanging.
Front page. You won't regret it.
And before we enter the mansion, I'll check my statistic. It's been an interesting ride. And I'm quite curious to see how it ends. Yes, horsey, I know. So here we are. I'm gonna make a save right about here. And let's see the statistics. Cases taken 41. Cases closed 40. This is going to be the 41st. Character portrays format 21. Accusation 1-3. With, well, the first accusation I didn't win, but yeah. Imagination result 23. John's bets won 26. I missed 1. Police cases solved 5. Enemies arrested 135. Enemies killed 9. Total arrest attempted 140. Snuffbox use count 54. 0 bandit layers. 90 weak spots hits. Environmental object destroyed 25. Souvenirs 17 of 19. Interesting. Furniture bought 2020. 22. Wardrobe pieces bought 14. Money earned 18.20. Newspapers bought 18. Traders found 25. Treasures found 24. Nope. So I guess we go through building. I think. Oh, by the way, we could. Ooh.
I hope this child will find his place in the world. He has great potential.
He does. Oh, we could check these before we go there, because apparently there are some.
The local justice system in all its glory.
Yes, I didn't realize we have things from our cases, which makes sense. Wait. Oh, yes. No, that's a Cthulhu.
When you're finished here, can we build a wigwam from the blankets? Like in the good old days?
When I'm finished here, we probably don't build any blanket fortress anymore.
To be or not to be, that is the question, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
Agreed, yes. What's that? Oh, nothing. You.
A magnificent tool made for a spurious purpose, staring into the sky. I've definitely found a better
You
use
do
for it.
miss her.
I do.
So, anything else? Let's check this room also.
It reminds me of my mother.
What do we have here? A mask, obviously.
Almost as good as mine. It was truly an unforgettable event.
Yes, indeed it was. I'll... Hopefully Oh.
I hope Wooden Joe won't object to a new friend.
Should I go outside and check if there's something new before we enter the garden? Again, like I said, there's the elephant, yes. I don't think there's anything else, but I'll take a little look-see before we end this game. Unfortunately, we never entered here. Couldn't enter here. Anything on this side? Oh, stop stuttering. Wait a minute. Is this the... Wait, what? Has this tree always been here? I don't know. I can't remember. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I think we're ready to see this story through. There's something new in here, no? Well, we have cigars.
Sherry, please listen to me. Sherry.
John, I always listen to you.
You don't have to do this. You don't have to go through. I don't know what is beyond this door, but I can feel it. Buzzing, angry, like a fly at the window.
I know. I can sense it too.
You locked away this memory for a reason. There is only pain here.
Pain. And truth.
You do not need to suffer either. There is so much more we can do on Cordona. So many others we can help. There is no coming back from this.
I think I have no other choice than see this through. So I'll have to finish this.
John, my animum, my brother, there is nothing more important in this moment than this truth. I know you fear for me, but my path was set long ago. I can no more step off it than I can ask the avalanche to roll back uphill.
Just... please be careful, Sherry. I love you.
Quite. Come on. We'll go together.
Memories. Oh. In the manor. The door to the garden is finally unlocked, and the answers to all my questions await.
Why didn't I remember we had such a big garden?
Maybe you forgot it for your own good.
Or maybe you're thinking the garden is bigger. Who knows? What do we have here? Rocking horse. Well, this seems quite a huge garden, I must say. A statue.
Ah, yes. The statue of Merope. My mother was trying to restore it. What a pity she never had the opportunity to finish.
Actually, let's take that away. We really don't need that. Oh, sorry, teddy bear. Why are you hiding?
That's the descendant of a tree your father planted in London, correct?
Indeed, we planted the sprout here, and for a while it grew happily. Alas, it seems without us here to care for it, it didn't survive.
What's inside the gazebo? Anything? Yeah, I'll go there later, but I'll check around. There's a memory. Ah, wooden ship. What is this?
Is that the raft we made together, John?
Looks more like a pile of rotten planks now.
It indeed does. A sword. Time. Let's see what really happened.
Mother?
Tea tray. Broken.
That's from Mother's favorite tea set. What is it doing in here?
Oh, I didn't realize I need to actually move. Sorry about that. So what is happening here? Am I
Come
sure?
here, Sherry. Hurry!
What are we doing?
These must help calm her down.
What did we do?
What are you thinking about? Is everything all right?
Not really. What did we do? Tea and sedatives. The risk of side effect. Dr. Richter experimented on my mother with unconventional drugs and treatments. Every dose had a risk of side effect. Increased tolerance. My mother used sedatives frequently, so her body must have built up a tolerance. It wouldn't be danger to her. I don't know, maybe risk of side effects? Dr. Richter experimented on my mother with unconventional drugs and treatments. Every dose had a risk of side effect. Wait, sorry. Allergic reaction. My mother had unexpected allergic reaction to her medication and she suffocated. Well, that would... That would explain that tracheotomy, maybe? That could be a possibility. Unless we did something. I don't know. Where do we need to go now? Do I need to talk to him or move forward? Probably move forward.
What are you thinking about? Is everything all right?
Yeah, something is happening.
Don't go, Mother, wait. Mother's work journal. I liked poring over the detailed pages and reading about my parents' collection. I remember this artifact from Mother's collection.
Okay. Here it is. Whoop.
Here it is. We'll just borrow it for a while.
Did you hear that? Someone's coming. Let's take a peek. You call this progress? Charlotte, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
Any result is progress, even if it is a worsening of her condition. It informs my...
No. I have made my decision. She must be sent to a legitimate medical facility. I will not let her hurt Sherlock.
What? Master Holmes, you do not understand.
That will be all. I expect you to have left the house by week's end.
Sherry, say something. Can you hear me? You're scaring me.
Sherlock, I'm here. Come closer.
It would seem that Otto definitely was doing something
Sherry, come here, darling.
unorthodox test and didn't really care. Well, he was willing
I'm
to
waiting for you.
almost sacrifice her, but
Sherry, come here, darling.
if we can believe in our memories.
I'm waiting for you.
Coming, Mother.
What happened then?
This was for my mother, wasn't it? I remember how we came to the garden for a breath of fresh air.
Take me to my flowers, Sherry. They must already be in bloom.
As you wish, Mum. I bet you missed the fresh air, didn't you?
Terribly. The sun is Far brighter than I remember. But I like it.
We can walk each day from now on, if you want.
That would be wonderful. Just look at them. The stars of the earth. Even the sky must be jealous of their beauty.
Indeed.
So what happened in the garden?
Mother, would you like to go around the water?
That would be perfect. I always wanted such a nice pond in London. It looks so peaceful.
Mycroft knew you would like it.
We should put some fish in it, don't you think?
How about some carp?
That's a nice idea.
Okay.
Let's visit your father's tree. It grows so fast, just like you.
We could even build a tree house in it.
Yes, Sherry.
Well, at some point, yes.
Speaking of your father, could you call him out, please?
Mom! I'm sorry. He passed away. He's gone.
No, he's not.
I'm telling the truth. Did you forget again?
No, don't you dare say such things. You are a liar like all the others.
Mother!
Don't call me that. You aren't fooling me.
No! Mom, it hurts!
My son would never lie.
Mom, stop!
Who are you? Reveal yourself.
Please stop! It's me, Sherlock!
You are not my Sherry. Give me my stuff before I kill you.
No wonder we blocked that memory. Um... Mycroft accused Dr. Richter. After Mycroft caught Otto Richter, he blamed him for our mother's death. Hysteria in the garden. My mother tried to drown me in the pond at Stonewood Manor. So, what are the choices we could? She didn't drown, she drowned. My mother was drowned. Someone drowned my mother either by accident or on purpose. No. She didn't drown. We know that. I'm almost certain. I'm almost certain that... What is this? What is in here? Wait, what? Wait, what? Now that is interesting. So either I'm towards that my mother Violet was drowned by Otto Richter. Mycroft accused him of murder, but it's unclear if Otto killed her deliberately. I'm almost certain that it would be an accident. Otto killed my mother while trying to save me. The drowning was an accident, and he desperately attempted tracheotomy to save her. Mycroft hid the truth to protect me and wrongly accused Otto. Well, probably not wrongly, because partly how Dr. Richter worked his experiments played definitely a key role what happened, but John and I are responsible. What are the choices? My mother died from allergic reaction after we gave her sedatives with her morning tea. Otto Richter tried to save Violet, yet Mycroft deliberately blamed him for the death despite John and I being responsible. John is the killer. I killed my mother without knowing it. The idea to give her sedatives came from John, which means that I cannot trust my own mind. To heal myself, I must get rid of John. Mycroft hid the truth to protect me. I am responsible for my mother's death. It was my idea to give her medication, which caused the allergic reaction that killed her. It's my guilt. Mycroft hid the truth to protect me. To be honest, that could be also true. That definitely could be true. I'm almost certain that in both cases Otto tried to save what was savable, salvageable. But that's an interesting point. That either I killed my mother or not. Can I check the papers? No. Because the problem is, it seemed that she didn't drown. That's the question. Did she drown or not? It definitely wasn't deliberate murder, but Otto killed my mother while trying to save me. The drowning was an accident and he desperately tried to save her. Yes. I'll go with that.
Sherlock. Sherlock. Can you hear me? Come on, wake up.
Get off me.
Sherry,
You knew, and more than that, you hid it from me.
You couldn't bear the truth, Sherlock, so I shouldered it for you. I took your pain, your horror.
Otto Richter murdered my mother, and Mycroft covered it up. Whisked me away from this place, buried me in schoolwork, and left the past to rot.
And you needed a way to cope, so I helped.
You were a lie, John, a fiction, a crutch.
No, I was a friend. Sherlock, please.
Sherlock,
What?
are you okay?
I don't know.
I told you not to come, Sherlock. Where is he?
Who?
Your friend, John.
He's beside you.
Was all this worth it? Is he worth it?
Why is he here?
I think, in his own way, he was trying to protect me. From a truth I couldn't bear. But now I must face it.
Sherlock, what are you doing?
You kept me in the dark and kept your actions quiet. You enabled Richter and his untested quackery for far too long. And worse, you wanted to lock up our mother.
I wanted to give you a chance at normalcy, childhood. There was no changing what happened, no good to come of dwelling in the past.
It was lies upon lies. Otto Richter was trying to save her, but you decided he deserved to take the fall. Is that justice?
The big picture, Sherlock. The big picture. Perhaps Richter was not responsible for her fit of rage, but his treatment led inexorably to that moment. You were so fragile. I could not... I just couldn't. I chose us over him.
You know, for once I believe you. And perhaps now that the truth is out, I can actually do what you had hoped. Leave it all in the past.
Good. You have your whole life ahead of you, Sherlock. It is time you got on with it.
I was worried there for a minute, Sherry. Really worried. I didn't want to hurt you. What's so funny?
I am talking to myself, John. I think I was hurt regardless.
But we made a good team, eh? Explored every inch of this place together. Helped a lot of people. Terrorized a few too, I suppose. I think I may go so far as to say, Sherry, that I have not lived wholly in vain.
So that's it. It's over.
You've opened every door, Sherry. Faced the past you locked away. You don't need me anymore.
I know. But I will miss you all the same. I don't want you to go.
Yes, you do.
Goodbye, John.
Okay.
Why are you here?
Closure, I suppose. And to help a friend.
You and I are not friends. In a race between the thawing of the ice caps and our friendship, I would buy a boat.
Ha! Is that right?
I can see it now. I know what you did.
What did I do?
You needled me. From the moment we met, you were searching for weakness. You pushed me to pursue the truth about my mother. You questioned everything I did, everything I believed, to break me. To blur truth and fiction, reality, morality. A saboteur in silk. Was it vengeance, Werner? Or do you prefer Klaus?
Excuse me?
You are Klaus Richter, Otto's younger brother. Do you hold me responsible for his end?
Pah! There was no love lost between me and my brother. I am sure you can relate. Otto was merely the gravity that pulled me into your orbit. Or you into mine. Once I met you, I could not keep away.
Then why? What reason do you have for all this?
To help you.
You're lying.
To show you that you were wrong.
More lies. I know you now, Werner. Try again.
To see what had happened. Or is that yet another untruth? Does it matter? Take your pick. Who cares? You're my masterpiece. I turned Sisyphus into Ozymandias. You could not see the futility of your quest until I helped you to let go of the rock. And now, nothing beside remains.
I remain. Despite you and to spite you.
It is a matter of will and power now. Will you overcome this, or shall you decay? Oh, on that note, I brought you something.
I want nothing more from you.
When one wants for nothing, Sherlock, the best thing to get them is something personal. So, here you are. Now, please excuse me, but the gallery calls. I'm already conceiving my next project. You really are beautiful.
Right. Interesting twist.
My brother returned to London soon after our disagreement. He enrolled at Cambridge University, but attends only the rare classes that hold his interest. I hear he took employment at a hospital laboratory, obsessing over his experiments. I suppose he seeks solace in the empirical truth of a chemical test. I am afraid for him. His evenings are spent alone, solving citizens' menial mysteries to pass the time. And I suspect he is growing paranoid. One of my agent's vehicles recently ignited during a surveillance operation. She was lucky to get out alive. There is only one man who could orchestrate such a feat. Or perhaps two. I saved my brother. He will never forgive me.
I found it! I found it!
And what is that?
Hey, Sherry.
How far, bruises may be produced after death? How are you? You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive.
How on earth did you know that?
Never mind. The question now is about bruising. No doubt you see the significance of this discovery of mine.
It is interesting, no doubt, but practically...
Why, it is the most practical medico-legal discovery for years. Had we these data sooner, hundreds of men would have paid the penalty for their crimes. Cases oft hinge upon how a man died. Now, we can know which wounds he suffered alive, which occurred post-mortem, and what instrument was responsible. And ergo, one will soon be able to calculate with utmost precision when and where death occurred, sparing the innocent and damning the guilty.
Well, then you are to be congratulated.
Indeed. But, you came here on business.
correct again. I am looking for someone with whom to take diggings, and heard you were complaining that you could get no one to go halves with you.
I have my eye on a suite in Baker Street, which would suit us down to the ground. You don't mind the smell of strong tobacco, I hope?
I smoke ships myself.
That's good enough. I get in the dumps at times, and don't open my mouth for days on end. Just let me alone, and I'll soon be right. What have you to confess now? It's best for two fellows to know what bruises each other carries before they begin to live together. My last companion and I...
Well, I object to rows because my nerves are shaken, and I get up at all sorts of ungodly hours, and I am extremely lazy. I have another set of vices when I'm well, but those are the principal ones at present.
Do you include violin playing in your category for rouse?
It depends on the player. A well-played violin is a treat for the gods. A badly played one...
Oh, no, that's all right. I think we may consider the thing as settled. Oh, forgive my manners. My attention wavers. Sherlock Holmes.
Dr. John Watson.
John.
Right. Well, let's see the end titles. And I talk after that. We can see the rooms one last time. Nice chains. Little dusty, I would say. Lovely scenery. Well, I might as well. Interesting to see cast. Alex Jordan as Sherlock Holmes, Will Coban as John, Michael Collop as Werner Vogel. The voice acting was very good in this game, I have to say. The thing is, yeah, well, I'll wait for the text to end before I talk, because I probably take the sounds off. Okay. So, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. I enjoyed the ride. I definitely did. The ending choices are interesting because I can see it going towards also that Sherlock himself caused the death. That is a possibility. Trying to help her mother. I don't know how it changes the conversations with the ending parts. But yeah, I think I'm fairly well, how do I put it? The choice I made, I think it works well. The interesting part is John were with Sherlock even before her mother's death, because it would be, so maybe it was already because of his father's death, which probably shocked him quite a lot. But yeah, who knows? But yeah, the author he definitely used some unconventional and maybe unethical ways to try to cure Violet Holmes. Obviously, well, if it worked, he would be a greatest of the great, and if it doesn't work, well, there's always another one to test. But unfortunately, it went on and on. I was a little bit wary when I started this game because the open world aspect, it can be a tiresome if it's not done good. I would say the open world areas are decent size in this map, in the game. It's not too huge to feel like that it's huge just to be huge and whatnot. It gives you the feeling the area is lived. Different areas have distinct feelings. Of course, when you have these treasure hunts and coin hunts, well, they were a little bit iffy, bit funny, but it's nothing you really need to do if you don't want to. It wasn't that hard to do the treasure hunt overall, so it really didn't bother that much, and it's easy to not to do it also because it really doesn't give you any more, like the coin hunts. But it's there if you want to do it. Side cases, most of them were quite interesting. Of course, the chances were that some were very small, very short, some were a little longer. Maybe few of the choices I made in the endings, I'm not totally satisfied, but well, we go with that. The Gilded Cage was a problematic, a little bit problematic, because both of the guilty parties were really made so that they both could be the killers. And the annoying part was that you couldn't ask anyone about the alibi. That's what I feel was a little bit annoying, because Paul, or who was it, said he was in the doctor. I couldn't ask about the doctor. I couldn't find out if there was a doctor and if he was actually at the doctor. And then there was the archaeologist who said he was working at the site, but I couldn't ask the workers if he were there or not. So, because that would have been a conclusive evidence, unless, of course, both alibi givers said, well, I didn't see them, then we would be in the same position. But yeah, I can see that they were trying to be vague, and it could maybe go both ways a little bit. So there's that. The last case was interesting that it failed. I might be totally wrong, but how I perceived the case, I'm pretty confident I wouldn't change the guilty party in that at all. The main story was definitely meat of the game, very interesting and very well done overall, without those little snags in the Gilded Cage. It wasn't that long if you take off the cases, side cases and whatnot, and DLCs and whatnot. It could be played quite fast, but again, it's still well-told story, an interesting story overall. John can be annoying at times, but it's understandable. What about the fighting? I got accustomed to it. I still didn't want to change my settings to harder, because if I wanted to skip those. I can see why they maybe put that in, because, well, it gives you something to do. And after I got into it, it wasn't that bad, but I never liked the wave sort of mechanics. I can see that in like online multiplayers and whatnot, but it felt a bit gimmicky to go in the area or arena where you fight, and then you get wave after wave after wave after wave. I can see why it was made that like that. Unfortunately, you can skip that if you don't enjoy it, or could take them down quite easily. And the bandit layers are optional, totally optional. I didn't do them. I have no idea what you get from them. But okay, it's good that there's some action if you want to have it. But I always played Sherlock Holmes games, more about the story and discovering and interrogating and trying to solve the cases, not for action. But again, it doesn't detract that much, so it doesn't really matter that much. So fine, it's there, but I could live without it also. Again, like I said, it's I feel like it's not needed, but it's not bad either. It doesn't drag the game down at all. The weird thing is, I have played every Sherlock Holmes games I have. Well, actually, that's not quite true. I think there's 2 games, very early Sherlock Holmes games I haven't played. And yes, there's Sherlock Holmes The Awakened coming soon. I have played the original so-called remastered. It was a little. I played the original, and then the original remaster. There was some changes, not graphically, not a little bit graphically and whatnot, but not that different from the original. It's interesting to see what kind of changes they do to the coming awaken. Obviously, graphical changes are huge, but how much they change the story and gameplay, that is something I'm interested to see. In this was totally third person. Before that, you could play in a first person. I usually played first person. This was from third person. That, again, not a problem. But interesting to see if the Awakened is just third person or first person. Is there fighting? How it's done? Is it open world or more hub based like it was in the original? Because it wasn't open world. There was open areas, but not open world. It will be interesting to see how it follows the story of the how it is made, how it differs from the original. Do I play it as soon as it's released? Well, I don't know yet. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Who knows? But again, it's a very tempting to see how it goes and how it compares to the original. What else? Now I don't know what to play. I played every Agatha Christie game I own. I played every Sherlock Holmes games, apart those 2 very old ones I own. So those games are done. There are no new Gabriel Knight games. I think I have to think what I play next. There are a few games I want to play. I'll have to see if there are more adventure games I could play. There are old police quests, but they are quite old and not everybody probably enjoys those. But I'll probably play them at some point because I would like to see those games if I can get them to record. But again, at the moment, I don't know what to play. I'm not certain what I'll play next. Again, I have few ideas, and probably when this is up, I'll already started whatever I decided to play. Who knows? But we will see what it will be. I don't know yet. Anyways, like I said, definitely a great game, and there are different choices for duty for the case, especially in the main cases and a few of the smaller cases. And I think there's at least 4 different ending where either John is guilty, I am guilty, other is guilty, definitely killing, or other tried to say but almost guilty. I don't know how much it changes things and what things, but I'm tempted to play them, but probably I don't record those. So I'll go with this ending. But yes, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, and hopefully you can find something else I played that you enjoy, or waiting something I play next. But anyways, I think that's it. So again, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, and I will see you next time. Until then, goodbye.